So today I'm up at Lewis River Falls, and it's about a 5-mile trail. I didn't know that Cougar, Washington was like 5 inches from the sun, but it's insanely hot here in the Pacific Northwest. It's like 90 something today, which is ridiculous. But anyway, I'm at Lewis River Falls. It's about a 5-mile trail that goes along the Lewis River, and there's 3 waterfalls. This is the upper falls, there's a middle, and then there's the really famous one that I shot the most called Lower Lewis River Falls. We're staying overnight camping up here, and so decided to come up to shoot the upper falls first. Now obviously, as you can see behind me, the falls are in direct sun, which is not the best, but there's nothing but cloudless skies forecast for the next forever. I decided just to give it a shot and see if I can make something happen even in the bright sunlight, because I knew this is what it was going to look like. So in order to combat this and to come away with a photograph that gives me the look of the water that I want, it's about controlling the shutter speed. And what I brought was some neutral density filters so that I can slow that shutter down and not absolutely blow out the water, because it's already blown out. Just by looking at it, I can tell that it's going to require a very low ISO. I'll be shooting at f16, f18, hopefully no higher than that, and using a neutral density filter to help even block more light so I can get a slower shutter speed. So I got a 3-stop ND filter and then my polarizer on top of that. It's going to give me a shutter speed around of a 1/15 of a second, which gives it a really nice look to the water. There's a lot of water coming over those falls, so you don't need to do half a second or anything really ridiculous like that. 1/15 of a second for me is about 1/13 of a second. Somewhere around in there is going to give me the look that I want. The most important thing is not to blow out those highlights, because you'll never ever recover those. So you can see even on the video right in there how bright that water is. Obviously, the composition is dead on. I mean, there's no foreground interest that's even usable where I'm at this time of day, and there's no other vantage points really to get to. This is the fall, this is the best location. So I'm doing a 16:9 crop, pretty much just filling the frame with the falls, polarizing it just a little bit to get some of that glare off the water. And if the shot comes out, I'll show it to you right now. Just finished eating some dinner, and now I am headed down to the base of Lower Lewis River Falls to try to get a perspective that I haven't shot before. The water level is nice. It's pretty perfect. The spring runoff is kind of slowed a bit, so I should be able to get around the edge and get a little bit closer than I have in the past. But I won't know till I get down there. It's a pretty steep little descent down to the floor of the river. Not overly sketchy, but enough so that I'm not gonna film it while I'm trying to come down there with 2 tripods, cameras, and a backpack. So I'll show you what it looks like when I get to the bottom. Well, I made it to the river, and I don't know if it's getting harder or I'm getting older, probably a little of both, but there was a rope the last little bit that I had to use because it was so steep. I just don't remember that the last time I was here, but anyway, now all I got to do is get way back that way so I can line up the shot that I want and not drown. So it's not too deep, it's just a matter of slipping and falling. So again, I'm not going to be trying to do any B-roll or anything like that while I'm trying to navigate and not fall with my gear in the middle of the river. So we'll tune in when I get a little closer to the falls back there. I want to get a little bit closer before I set up my composition. There's a shelf of rocks out here that it's really shallow, slippery but shallow. Before it gets to it just goes insanely deep. And I'm really interested in the falls. Let's see if I can point to them back here. Back in there, more than I am the ones way over that way. I've been here before. I'll link to the video above when I was here during the day. This is my first time here at sunset, so I don't have to worry about the sun or any kind of harsh lighting or anything. I can just concentrate on the falls. I think that's going to be really, really nice. Let me get set up and I'll show you what I find.
I simply had to take the obvious shot of the waterfall before I moved on, but taking the time to do that had consequences.
I'm running out of light really, really fast. I wasn't, for some reason, I was like not realizing how fast it gets dark when you're a million miles away from everything. And so the sun is not even set, and I'm already at ISO 400 f8 just to get, and I'm at a slow shutter speed just to get enough light so that it's just not black. And I've still got to navigate up that hill of, that steep hill with a rope to get out of here. So I can't waste too much time. So I really like that section of the falls right there. And I wanted to get more head on to the fall that's falling this way, that one. So I was shooting more onto it. But the problem is, as I move this way, I lose the main fall that's coming down, the big one, which may not be a bad thing. So I'm gonna just scooch around, I'm gonna move around this way, just a little bit more, and see if I can't find the shot that I was trying to envision in my mind. If I do, I'll take it. If not, I gotta head back before it gets dark. I've had to ditch the polarizer because it's just getting too dark and my ISO was just skyrocketing, but I really like this aspect of the waterfall. It's a little bit different, a little bit more intimate instead of the whole thing, which I just photographed. And now it's all about trying just again to dial in that shutter speed that I want to get the right look of the water. It's getting dark. I'm going to take a couple more shots, and if these come out, I'll show them to you right now. I don't know if you can see that, but that's where I've got to get up with this backpack on. And it looks a lot steeper this way than it did coming down, so wish me luck. Okay, I made it. It was hard. So tomorrow morning, I'm gonna try to shoot a different vantage point from the top of the falls. I've scouted it before. I'm not sure that there's a composition there, but I'm going to take a look and see what I can find in the morning. So before I say goodnight, this is at the top of the falls. And it's just stunning. Good morning. It's a little after sunrise. I didn't get up before sunrise simply because I knew it was going to be crystal blue sky. There's not going to be any color in the sky, no clouds or anything like that. So I just kind of slept in a little bit, and I'm headed to like the top of the falls. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to come away with a great shot, but it's, again, I'm trying to do something different. And I've talked about this before, but when you're out shooting, if you go to the same place time and time again, it's good to get to know it, but it's also, after you've got really great shots of the most obvious compositions, don't just keep doing the same thing. Try to expand, try to do something different, try to explore, find different angles, something different. And that helps. Not only does it help your eye with composition, it also helps you grow as a photographer. So I am headed down. I'm gonna have to turn this off because it's not nearly as steep as going down to the bottom of the falls, but it's hard to talk and not trip and fall at the same time. So once I get down to the river, I'll turn it back on. This is what I've got so far, and I like the way the water's coming in over here on the left. I love the waterfall over here on the right, and then the ability to see down the river after the fall, after the main waterfall drops. But what I don't care for is the center section, right here is just not that interesting. It's just a big white mess. So I've tried getting lower, but it really doesn't eliminate it, and it ruins and takes away from the downstream part of the river. So I don't like that. I'm gonna take this shot anyway just to see, but there's a lot of interesting, it's just a different perspective to be even with the falls, and I like it a lot. I know there's a composition here, and hopefully I can find something that works. So here's what I've got lined up now. I do like this a little better, I think. And it puts the white plunge pool over here, that first tier, on the left of the frame instead of in the middle. And it draws the eye. It's still really, really bright. So I'm still not done with it, but what I like is I like the framing element of this tree over here. I like the waterfalls back here. I like the drop, this little pool in the bottom, and then the river that comes out and snakes out of the frame at the top. So this is what it looks like instead of on the back of the camera. Let me just show you what I'm seeing. And again, all of this stuff over here is pretty great, but over here on the right, that really bright white, not so great. So I'm going to try to eliminate it by not including it in the frame at all. See what that looks like. I did bracket my the photographs. I did it manually. I did one for the sky because that sky is really, really bright. And then I did one with the shutter speed and the exposure for the water so that I could just put those two together in Photoshop. This could be really epic, I think, if we had clouds. What we would need is sunset, clouds back there instead of a blue sky, and with this water, and you can maybe get some reflections in this little pool, below me, that right now it's got no color on it at all. that could be like amazing. So even if this photograph doesn't come out, scouting down and finding a different location gives me options the next time that I come. Next time I come, if I've got clouds, this is where I'm gonna come. I know that I can pull off something now that's gonna probably be pretty awesome if I get the right conditions. That'll wrap up Lower Lewis River Falls. I hope you liked the video. I hope you got something out of it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Help me grow my channel. And here are my favorites from this morning's shoot at Lower Lewis River Falls. Let me know which one you like best in the comments below, because I'll include the shots that came out, and you can tell me which one you like best and why. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.